Dear people, this is Tini again speaking from Rome. This is my fourth COVID-19 related video, and the second one translating and only translating people I think that should be translated. This is my second video translating Mauro Rango. I translated an article written by him yesterday in my video. Then I didn't know him yet. Then I spoke to him and he asked me to translate this other video because it's hopefully bringing useful information for doctors all over the place and COVID patients, an important vision and an important request. Okay, Mauro Rango is a human rights activist. So he graduated at the Faculty of Political Sciences in Padova. He is specialized in health law, in the right to health, il diritto alla salute. So he's been engaged on many projects in Africa, working with the local government there and with other governments, also with Italy, to help and transfer and cure and treat also leukemia children. He himself has a bad disease that he is fighting. He also wrote a book with other people about the prevention against cancer. This is who he is. He is not a doctor, as I erroneously understood, but this is an understanding that rose from the title that Italians give to any person with a university degree. I have a law degree, so I'm a doctor, dottoressa, but of course I'm not a medical doctor, and dottoressa also means medical doctor. So the Italian message here was interpreted by a lot of people as, him being a doctor because he knows a lot about medical journalism, and he works with a lot of doctors and professors. And as he was providing medical information about hyperimmune plasma, together with azithromycin, an antibiotic, and then chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, which I'll explain just in 2 minutes. A lot of people thought he was a doctor. So I already corrected this misunderstanding, but anyway, it doesn't compromise the contents of my previous video because the contents are just a translation of his experience of the treatment as it is in Mauritius very successfully, because what they do in Mauritius is using as an official treatment in the country since the 8th of March the infusion of hyperimmune plasma. So basically using the antibodies, so the immunity defense built by people who had COVID-19 and who were dismissed from hospital. So you need about 3 people to get the portion of plasma to treat an infected person, COVID-19 patient with symptoms. And there is a selection protocol, I'm referring to the previous video, to see who has the right plasma to be used for this therapy. Now, the protocol is very important because what is being done in Mauritius very successfully, and what was announced as being the official treatment to be applied or given by doctors there in Africa, after which there were no fatal results anymore, only 1 dead person, but they still have to look into that case because maybe this person was already what they called functionally compromised, so with other problems, so he wouldn't have made it anyway. Now, this method is very old, and every doctor and especially pulmonologists, so lung experts of the old school, they know this method very well of using hyperimmune plasma. So why is it then, if also the doctors in Italy that contracted this COVID-19 virus, if they are using always the same protocol, so if they get symptoms at home, what they do is take one tablet for 6 days of this antibiotic called azithromycin, okay, and then they take also for 7 days, every day, 400 milligrams of hydroxychloroquine. I thought chloroquine, but I looked up the pronunciation. It's chloroquine, so it's a queen. So we have no specific tool against this virus because we don't know enough against this. Mauro Rango is, of course, not against a vaccine, but it's going to take a very long time, and also the virus is mutating. In Italy, many doctors that work in the field, they believe that the virus in Italy is not the Chinese virus anymore, and that even the Italian virus, or as it circulated in Italy, has already mutated. We also know that a vaccine is not always efficient also, like for a normal flu, just because the virus mutates. Very important is the protocol, because you have to look at the phase of the disease. So how long has the virus been going around in your body? What has it done to your body? So when you're at home and you show symptoms, I repeat, 6 days azithromycin, 1 tablet per day, and 7 days, 400 milligrams of chloroquine, which is an anti-malaria drug. Because, it's also used against arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and also against lupus, autoimmune disease, because we now know that it's not the virus. And I also refer to my second video where I translate Dr. Palma, cardiologist in Italy. It's not the virus, but it's the too heavy and harsh reaction of our immunity system that then basically kills the own body. So we have to go against this inflammation. This is what you can do at home with the medicines as prescribed before. Now, hydroxychloroquine, strangely enough, has always been sold out in Italy under the name Plaquenil. That's the brand. And Mauro Rango, in his research, also contacted all the pharmacists, and Plaquenil was always sold out. So it's being used a lot, and many doctors in Italy used it, but at a certain point, a lot of people didn't get this treatment. A lot of patients didn't get this treatment yet. Because for reasons that I leave up to your imagination. So we started wondering, Mauro Rango started wondering why this therapy that was official already from the 8th of March in Mauritius and with great success, why it wasn't officialized in Italy. Now, thanks to the work of Mauro Rango and his colleagues, now in Veneto, which is a region in the north of Italy, with Venice as a head town, the capital of this region is Venice. And there's a plasma bank. It has been opened just recently, and like 3,600 people have been invited to give their plasma, which will be good enough because you need like 3 people for one portion to take care of one COVID-19 patient. So this should be good enough for 1,500 patients. So that is a success that made Rango very happy, obviously, but it seems that other profiles of the Italian scientific community are trying to slow down this hyperimmune plasma therapy. And now, these days, they started an experiment in the north of Italy to prove how efficient or not efficient this therapy should be. But, and Mauro Rango has all this detailed, and independent journalists can obviously get in touch with him. No problem. He also provides us with his email and with his number. This is also how I got in touch with him. What was I saying? Yeah, the people, he has a paper documenting what people can qualify for this experiment. It's people who need to have pneumonia for 10 days already, and they must have like serious insufficiency, breathing insufficiency, so insufficienza respiratoria, like, and using mechanical ventilators. It is very probable that the exit of this experiment with those 10 people in reanimation will not deliver positive results, then influencing, obviously, the public opinion in a negative sense. So this translation of the vision and the research confirmed by a lot of Italian doctors and pulmonologists, so lung experts that have been writing to him, hundreds and now already thousands of emails from all over the place. They all confirm that they have the same experience, successful results with the protocol as described here. But of course, it's very important to follow the stage of the phase of the gravity of the disease, because when you need to go to hospital for this infusion of hyperimmune plasma, you also need an anti-inflammatory, a powerful one, and for that I refer to my second video translating Dr. Palma. And you also need, of course, anticoagulants and anti-aggregants to prevent the blood from coagulating. And there they use Clexane, for example. And the medicines that Dr. Palma doesn't recommend in terms of anti-inflammatories are Brufen, no good, naproxen, no good, aspirin, that inhibits COX-1 and COX-2, no good. But that's medical stuff, and you doctors know this better. I'm not a doctor, Mauro Rango is not a doctor, but we're just trying to find out why this therapy that has been proven to be very successful and efficient and cheap, very cheap, because of course if pharma industries can deliver or produce a cheaper and more efficient alternative, so another medicine, then why not? Then of course this is very welcome. But Mauro Rango's basic question is why this efficient therapy, as mapped out a little bit in this video, only translating his information, why this is not being adopted generally, like to be applied and carried out on, an average COVID-19 patient in Italy. This is what the video wanted to ask, like not to slow down this further breakthrough and acceptance of this protocol, which is what we need in absence of a specific drug, because we don't have it yet. Other important doctors, like also Dr. Giuseppe De Donno from Mantova. He's the head of the pulmonology department of the hospital in Mantova. He also promotes this therapy. So he also supports Dr. Rango, and he also had to react against Professor Burioni, which is a man who criticized Dr. Rango, on internet, and he said he made some statements blocking this therapy as promoted by Rango and a lot of other doctors all over the place. And he did that in a TV show, a very popular talk show here in Italy. And Mauro Rango is wondering what is behind this blocking of this little expensive and efficient therapy of hyperimmune plasma in combination with antibiotics, hydroxychloroquine, that was told and is being told on internet not to be good for COVID-19. You will find that everywhere. Whereas the doctors, even in Italy, that got infected with COVID-19, they took Plaquenil because it's always sold out. He contacted all pharmacists, Rango, in Italy, and it was always sold out, Plaquenil. So we're just inviting people to work together for an efficient solution, for the sake of saving lives, because according to Dr. Rango, giving credit to this protocol, in absence of a specific medicine, a lot of lives could have been saved. So this is a request, an international cross-border call for not slowing down this therapy as set out here, but to consider it as a very efficient weapon with already existing medicines. Because we all hope that we're all fighting together for a solution, but do we live in an ideal world? That's a rhetorical question I can finish this video with. This is it for now. Goodbye from Rome. So buonasera or buongiorno.